the person get intoxicated. And I want to talk about a little bit thing that okay, so no one has heard about chemsex. Chemsex is when you're going to have sex, but you're going to be under the influence of some drugs. This is something that we start seeing that is very common in the new generations, and some people say that it helps them to get more relaxed, that they feel more connected with their partner. But even in chem sex, there's some rules or like stages you need to take to know that it's going to be consent and it's going to be safe. Normally, there is one part or one participant. Yes? No, I don't know if someone asks something. No, but normally there is going to be one of the participants who is going to stay sober, and the other one is going to be under some effects of some substance. So this is to help the other person to be in a safe place. Is going to be something that is going to be talk about before taking the substance, is going to be in a safe environment, and is something like you need to be certain that the person who are you going to participate in this activity is going to be looking for your best outcome, is someone you are comfortable with, that you are safe with. And you need to be very specific about what are you going to allow. Like if I pass out, then that's not consent. If I just want to have you in the room, I don't know if okay. Can someone confirm if they can hear me, or if
Oh, yes, we can hear you perfectly fine.
okay, okay. So thank you. So they need to be these ground rules to make it safe. That doesn't mean, or is not the same that I go to a bar, I get intoxicated, I get drunk, and then someone that I just met engage with me in some activity. It's not the same, okay? This need to be like you need to think about it before you get the the substance you're going to take. Then where's first, no one can give them consent if they are detained. That's simple as that. Verbal and physical affirmation. If the person doesn't say or do anything to consent the act taking place, and maybe they're not saying no, but it's important to see the non-verbal consent. If the person is making eye contact, she is moving closer, she is actively touching the other person or themselves, if is smiling, if is relaxed, is um, loose, do you hear sounds of enjoyment? But if the person is avoiding eye contact, is shaking them heads, if it's crying or looking sad, is tense, is silent, if it's just lying there, is not giving you consent, is not participate in an active way, it doesn't mean the people or the other participant is enjoying the act. You need to stop and to ask directly, do you want to move forward? Do you feel comfortable? Because maybe you are enjoying yourself, but the other person is having trouble connecting with you or enjoying the act, and it doesn't know how to say it. So you need to be very intentional to see that as you are enjoying yourself, the other person or the other people who is with you is enjoying themselves. It needs to be even physical affirmation that they are having a good time. Next one. Okay, so I think by this moment of the presentation, we all know that if there is any doubt, you need to stop and ask. Don't be afraid to ask. It's better for you to stop and ask if the other person is comfortable. And if you are the person who is uncomfortable, you need to ask them to stop. Say out loud what you are not comfortable with, or if you don't want to keep going, you just can stop and leave. Like, there is no obligation for you to finish something or to get to some point. You need, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with. It doesn't mean that you need to finish or to get to some goal. That doesn't happen. That only happen in movies, okay? You need to be aware of how you are feeling and how your partners are feeling. Next one. Okay, so we get the point when the relationship is growing and we are starting to talk about what happened in marriage, okay? And as I said at the beginning of my presentation, it's important that we talk about the context when we are like the marriage in my country, like in a cultural way, may be different that in your country. That's something we all know, but something that is universal is consent. And if we see the definition of marriage is the stage of being united to a person in a legal consensual relationship recognized by the law. So if you want to see it like that, marriage in a few words is a relationship. And every relationship needs to have consent to do any physical or sexual activity. So, consent is necessary in marriage as it will be in a relationship of friendship, as in I met someone in a bar. It doesn't matter that they are married, it needs consent, okay? The participants or the people who are part of this marriage need to ask the other person if they're comfortable, if they want to have sex. Not because you are married that means that you need to have sex every day or every 1 week, or that doesn't apply. You need to ask consent even in marriage. I don't know if you heard about Giselle Pelicot. If someone can raise their hand if they hear something about this case. No? Okay, so let me talk about a little bit of this case. Giselle Pelicot is a woman who was married many years, and the husband drug her, have sex with her while she was passed out. Not only have sex with her without her consent, but he also videotape it and have people to come to have sex with her being passed out. So he was raping her, and he was also um, prostituyendo. Like, I don't know if you know prostituyendo. I don't know how to translate that, but like a prostitute, like he was making her a prostitute without her consent. So it is a terrible case because when the case, like, she just remembers like having this lapse that she feel like numb and in not in control of her life. So he starts seeking help from the doctors. So this case went to the court, like the law court, because they discovered the husband taking videos of girls in malls. So they started investigating. They then found all the videos he take from Giselle, and she decided to um go against him and make him like pay for everything he was done. The thing is that he, in his defense, was saying like she was my wife, like has the right I have the right to have sex with her, and that is not true. Like, he was condemned for every crime he committed. But the thing is, some people think the same way as the husband of Giselle, that because they are married, they have the right to do certain things with their partner, and it's not true. Even in marriage, you need to have a good communication. You need to ask consent every time you're going to engage in a sexual activity, or if you're going to try something new. Because maybe the Giselle Pellicot case seemed terrible and like in a movie, or like something you can read in a book, but it's something that it really happens in this time that we are living, and it's not the only one, but maybe it's the one who make it more public. So please be aware that in any relationship, even in marriage, it's important to always ask consent. Next one, please. Okay, so always remember, people are allowed to change their mind. Consent can be given and withdrawn at any time by any of the participation, may be withdrawn and then given back, or other way around. So it doesn't mean because I say yes at the beginning, I can say no further the activity, or because I say no at some point, I cannot say yes later. It's something that it may change. Okay, next one. Okay, so I'm finishing up. Consent is all. I want you to remember always this. Consent is ongoing, fully informed, enthusiastic, and unpressure. So if you ever feel uncomfortable, unsure, unsafe, or unheard by your partner, you have the right to stop at any point and say, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to continue. Stop. I want to stop. You can either just stop or I'm leaving. It's important that you voice it out. Use your voice. Your voice has power and it needs to be heard. If you are starting a new relationship, it's important to communicate. I like this kind of thing. I don't like this one. I think I want to try this, or I'm definitely never want to try this activity. You need to set your boundaries clear, okay? And if you ever in that relationship feel like you are not being unheard, it's important for you to take a step back and see if the relationship you are is a healthy one. Even if it's just about sex, it needs to be with someone who is going to seek the well-being of the two of you, or of any participant who is taking a place in the relationship. So I'm going to leave you with my partner. If you have any question about what we just discussed, please put it in the chat, and we were talking about it later.
Thank you so much for wording out such difficult topics for us, and it was actually very kind of you to actually educate us on such a difficult topic. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Mohammed Zayed. I'm from SHO Nora. I will be your presenter for, let's say, like a small, quick part of the presentation, where we will highlighting the legal framework of the concept, like in the law, what we can do when someone give consent, how we can take it, what we can do if like any participant did not give their consent in a legal way. So the first thing actually, okay, the first thing is like legal framework. The legal definition for consent is it's an affirmative. So you need as a participant, when let's say I'm asking for a consent to take a picture or anything, you need to say yes, or at least nod with your head in a yes position, freely given and pressured, as my co-worker said. And the most important thing that you need to obtain this consent from persons or people who have the capacity to give consent. Like when you are talking about age, let's say like a relationship in Guatemala, as my coworker said, 14, maybe in Jordan, 18. But when you are talking about with a minor, so you can't ask them for consent for a sexual activity, which is they are a minor. Okay. Second thing, development or physical disability. Any disability that hinders or restricts his capacity of thinking, logical thinking, and give her the consent, you can't ask him for that. Relationship with the victim and perpetrator, especially when the one who abusing or the one who making the violence or did not take any consent is like the one with the authority, the father, the uncle, the brother. So you can't like ask for your brother for a sexual activity and he can give it to you. So the relationship is so important in law. Unconsciousness, like the case my coworker said, intoxication, especially when you get to know someone at the bar, he get intoxicated, he got the drunk, so you can't ask her for consent because she or he doesn't actually, sorry, doesn't actually know what does consent mean or how to give it. Okay, so let's say I'm a person who give consent, but or I did not obtain consent from my patients or from my first thing is losing your professional license, especially when you are doctor. We take several subjects in medical school that highlight the ethics, consent. You need always to take consent, informed consent that they know the pros and cons of this procedure or this activity, and they legally accept it or deny it. Okay, especially like surgeon and anesthesiologist are the most doctors that can be sued due to medical malpractice. Medical malpractice meaning not obtaining consent, one of them. While psychiatrists and family medicine practitioners are at least the least one. Why? Psychiatrists and family medicine practitioners always ask for consent before handling anything in medicine, while surgeon and anesthesiologists maybe can do things without it. Okay, this is the first thing, like regarding the concept or regarding the losing of profession. But regarding the mistrust between each other, let's say I'm not a doctor, I'm actually like a one giving this session, and we want to talk about a picture or a video, and I ask you for consent. If I did not ask you, there will be a mistrust between me and you. Especially, this will lead to uncomfortable situations like this maybe happen when did not obtain consent, or future issues by okay, I don't like to go to this session because the presenter is this person who did not give consent, who did not obtain consent for anything. Okay, so this is like a legal framework. So what is consent versus confidentiality? Many people actually misnomer them. Consent must be explicit. The person should say yes or at least nod with his head, give like a nonverbal communication that okay, I'm consent for this activity. Confidentiality is implicit, like when let's say I'm a surgeon and you came to me as a patient, you did not expect me to say, okay, I'm confidential with you. No, it's implicit. You should be confidential. Like, but consent, it should be explicit. Second thing, like consent cannot be breached at all, except in one situation when it's an emergency, like someone who is unconscious in emergency situation. In this case, we need to take we can't take consent, so we start immediately with the therapy. But confidentiality can be breached, like risk. Let's say that someone who talked to me, I'm like a psychiatrist, especially by the psychiatrist. Someone is came to me as a patient. He told me like his biggest secret, and this biggest secret is actually have a risk even on himself, like suicide, or on another person, or on the public itself, or it actually uh, let's say subside a major conflict or a major risk. In these situations, I need to breach this confidentiality of the patient and tell the authority, especially in mitral rape, like when it's an abuse, like a signs of abuse. Of course, the victim, or let's say the violence fighter, will be afraid to talk, will be afraid to highlight that she's being abused. So when you see any signs of abuse, then you must breach this confidentiality and tell the authority, like senior doctor, the legal way, anything. But the most important thing, confidentiality is implicit, consent must be explicit. Okay, so this is like a quick scenarios, or we will give you like three scenarios. Each one will highlight specific issues. So I want you to highlight it, see it, and tell me what you will do in this situation. Okay, the first scenario is like Sarah and Chris are friends, like they are best friends, not in a relationship. Chris pressures Sarah to take pictures and videos that she is uncomfortable with, like they going to the mall, going to the activity, let's say having a IFMSA session, and he asked her, let's take a picture for memory. And when they take the picture, he is putting his hand on her shoulder, and she is uncomfortable with that, even the photo or putting the hand. So she is telling him that I'm actually uncomfortable to do this, but he uses emotional manipulation. Like, if you loved, you will do me. If I'm your friend, you will do this. Make her feel guilty for setting boundaries. So if you are like a friend of Sarah, and Sarah actually told you this situation, what recommendation will you tell Sarah to do? The floor, you can open the chat, you can open your mic, it's up to you.
If I'm a friend of Sarah, I would firstly validate her feelings and tell her that it's her right to feel that way. And then, secondly, I would console her and tell her that she needs to express herself. And she needs to tell her friend Chris that she is not comfortable with a certain arrangement or a certain interaction among themselves. And she need to explicitly state it. And I understand it might be difficult. They might be very long lost friends, and it is difficult to say the words that are that could lead to their friendship breaking up. So she just needs to be confident enough, and I will be the friend who will be giving her this confidence that even if Chris is her actually a good friend, he will not break their friendship based on something that Sarah is not comfortable with. So first and foremost, Sarah needs to be upfront, and she needs to go out and talk about it and express how she feels about it.
Okay, nice answer actually. Okay, like Fahad, she needs to be upfront about it. That's right. She must tell him that she is uncomfortable. She has to be expressive. Okay, she needs to tell him she's uncomfortable and the distance herself if he does not respond positively. Okay, your answer actually right. Like all of you agreed on the fact that she need to be expressive. She need to tell him that she's uncomfortable. She need to express that, and if she did not, or sorry, if he did not respond to her feelings, she should distance herself. That's right. Actually, like these things might be difficult, especially when there's like a long year friendship. But also even like one of your family member who's let's say taking a picture or videos that you are not uncomfortable with, be explicit and tell him or her that that I'm not comfortable with that. Please delete it. Uh, it's not right. You did not obtain consent from me. Okay. So the second scenario is Mrs. Lee is diagnosed with thyroid cancer that requires surgery. Okay, the doctor only explains the procedure and its potential benefit only. However, Mrs. Lee was overwhelmed by the medical jargon, by her anxiety, and she signs the consent form because she feels pressured by the doctor recommendation. What is the strong behavior that you have noticed in this scenario?
I think the risk factors, the doctor didn't explain correctly the risk factors involved in the procedure.
That's right. Nice. Is there any other suggestion? Okay, the first thing is actually like the doctor, like Fahad said, did not explain the risk factor, which is why surgeons are being one of the most doctors or specialties that are being sued for medical malpractice. They explain the procedure, they explain the benefits, but they did not explain the risk factor or risk my complication might happen because it's a thyroid cancer. Like we will remove the thyroid, so maybe will damage the larynx. You will use your voice. So this is a very important thing. And the second thing that she was pressured by the doctor. So as we said, consent must be unpressured. Okay. So please always explain everything for the patient and don't pressure him or her for any procedures, even if you consider it like a good one. Okay. Let's say like this is like an IFMS sitting, a General Assembly or an IFMSA meeting. Me, the coordinator or let's say the presenter, asks for a consent regarding taking picture or videos for memories. Okay, and all the participants must be all the participants give their consent about taking this picture. But however, about one after 1 hour, some participant, one even at least one out of 100, it's okay, withdraw their consent due to their feeling uncomfortable. In this case, what should I do? In this case, like, should I, okay, even like one participant to withdraw their consent, should I neglect it and still taking the picture, or should I did not take picture at all, or what if you, let's say, in this situation, what will you do?
I think in this situation the majority wins. So if the majority of the people are saying that it's okay, then that person, a single person, has to improvise, and he, I think, has to stop his video recording, and he has to improvise.
Okay, nice.
Well, I think every single person has the right, and they even have the right to withdraw what they initially said. And as Fernandez just said, that everybody has the right to change their mind. Maybe they consented in the beginning, but now they have changed their mind. So if it's a on-ground event, that person could be asked to move out of the way, or maybe sit in a segregated area so they don't accidentally come in the photos. Number one. Number two, if you have already taken the photos and that person asks you to delete them, so I do think that as the committee, you are obliged to delete photos or pictures of that person, or maybe add an emoji that hides their identity.
Okay, nice. Any other suggestion?
One should take like written consent for taking any picture. Like orally consent can be one can withdraw his consent or her consent, but if you have you have signed a paper and you have signed a consent, then I don't think it should.
Okay, nice. So actually, like the thing when this happens, it actually happened to me several times. Like, let's say we are in a meeting, we have different people from different nationalities, and we actually have okay, could you ask them to move away? What made them uncomfortable? Okay. Okay, that's actually right. So what we will do here, when someone's within the session give his or her consent at the first, and then withdraw it, we will totally accept it, even if the majority, let's say, consent. This one we must validate her or his feeling. What we can do, like most of you said, we can tell her be on the edge of the let's say the circle or the U letter, so when we do the video, you will not be a part of it. And if you want to be part of it, we can highlight you. Okay. Regarding the previous videos or pictures that were already taken, we can put an emoji. We can Photoshop it and remove it if he or she requested that. The things that I want here, that any participant, even if it's one of 1,000, withdraw their consent, you must validate the feelings and let's say conduct an activity regarding it. You do not want to be photographed, it's okay. We cannot forget take any picture of you, but we can take the picture of the let's say remaining participant. Okay, so the things that I want here is consent is not only say yes, it must be informed, like the risk, the pros and cons. It must be voluntary and pressured by a doctor, by a friend, by a family member, totally voluntary and ongoing. Like, you can withdraw it at any time of the session. If you feel uncomfortable, just say it, and the session or the presenter should validate the feeling. And this is the last of our session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with me. It was really a very interesting session and a very amazing one. And okay, guys, we are having a debate competition, and we have our judges, our beloved speakers. So let's start then.
Okay, so guys, we have two topics here: consent, number one, and the other topic is female genital mutilation and violation against women. So we divided our participants into two groups, and even if you weren't in the group, you're still welcome to participate. And you will be given about 1.5 minutes to express yourself, and our judges will be our esteemed speakers, and they will be judging us on how we delivered the content. And wait, I can share it in a text that how it be judged. Content will have 5 points, delivery 5 points. Delivery includes clarity, confidence, and then we have structure. There should be a logical flow to your speech or debate, so it will again have 5 points, and overall impact of what you have said, it will have 5 points. So guys, you have about 3 minutes. Actually, okay, I'll be kind. You have 5 minutes, and you can then present yourselves, and you can write your names here in the comment section, and then we will call out the participants. And I hope our judges and our speakers are excited to hear the debaters and speakers here today. So your time starts now at exactly 9:00 p.m. Pakistan time. We will start a debate session. Good luck, guys.
Sir, I will be sending the judging criteria in the speakers group. You can take help from that.
In the meantime, we would love to hear about your hobbies. Fernandez, would you like to go first and tell us what are your hobbies and what do you do in your pastime?
Well, I love to read like any like romance book they put out there. I'm going to read it. So I love reading, and I'm a foodie, so I always trying to try new food.
Oh, so what is your favorite dish in your area?
Probably pepian is like a chicken soup.
Oh, pepian. That's an interesting
Yeah,
name.
it's like a chicken soup with a lot of spices.
Hmm.
It's really good.
Oh, I would love to try it one day.
Come to Guatemala and I will give you the best pepian ever.
Okay, I am booking the next flight. See you in Guatemala. Mohammed Zaid, what are your hobbies? What do you do in your pastime? Since Fernanda is a foodie and she reads a lot, what interesting stuff do you do?
Okay, actually, like my favorite hobby is watching, let's say, football at the first place, then movies or series, and like regarding the book, I'm not like a book guy actually. Like I just let's say read a book, tw- 2 books per year, so it's not that much, especially for romantic. But I'm actually like, let's say, an adventure, like hiking, going toward, riding a horse, shooting. So I'm like an adventure guy.
That's amazing. I am actually, we can be friends because I love horse riding and shooting as well. That's amazing.
Okay,
And
nice.
Fernanda, I also like romantic novels, so we can be friends as well.
It's our pleasure.
Also, what is your favorite dish and what food do you love in your area? Mohammed Zaid, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you.
I did not hear the question actually.
Oh, yeah, so what is your favorite dish and what is the best dish in your city or your country?
Okay, like my favorite or my the best dish is here in Jordan is like mansaf, which is like a rice with some of meat and yogurt, but special taste of yogurt. So it's like the traditional dish here in Jordan actually. Any person who come to Jordan should try it. Uh, like my favorite, I can't actually like mansaf, which is you can consider but the best and my favorite.
I did not get the name. What is it called?
It's mansaf. I will write it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. It does sound very delicious.
It's actually it's like especially when you eat it, you will feel very sleepy. Sleepy.
How is that related? But I get it. Amazing food makes you want to sleep. That's like the slow trauma
Exactly.
setting in. You're right.
Okay, guys, our speakers have to go. So we will be having a picture in around 1 minute from now. Then we can like continue with our debate competition. Our speakers are in a hurry, so let's have a pic first. Please turn on your cameras. Isha, Bushra, I will be taking the picture. Pose any pose. I can either pose or take the picture. You can change the pose if you
Okay. What else do we want to be doing here? Should we be doing? Oh yeah. How do we do it? Okay.
want. Thank you again, sir and ma'am, for joining us today.
Thank you all.
Thank you. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now, okay. As we know, we were having a debate competition. So I am the judge now. Okay. Yeah. The winner will get a certificate, and participants will get a certificate of participation, other than participation in like CB test. So you guys will be getting 2 certificates for one session. So please participate. And Isha, I think time is over. So
Hmm.
let's
Okay. Am I the only participant here, guys? Come on, come up with uh your enthusiastic and dramatic debates. Come on, you guys can do this. Okay,
Adil is a good debater.
so if nobody is ready, let me open the ground for us and everybody else. And Manu will be the judge.
Sure. It's easy for me.
Okay. So trigger warning, I will be dramatic because this is going to be a debate. Okay, guys, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Silence screams a voice for the voiceless. Respected judges, ladies and gentlemen, they scream, we silence them. They bleed, we call it honor. They suffer, and we call it sacred. Across continents, in quiet homes and crowded streets, girls are mutilated, women are raped, all in the name of tradition, religion, honor, and dignity. But what tradition is this that strives and screams of a child? What religion demands pain as a proof of purity? What honor is built on the blood of women? What dignity is left in a world that hushes sufferings? Female genital mutilation. We dress it up in cultural terms to make it sound acceptable, but make no mistake, this is not sacred. It is not spiritual, it is violence. Over 200 million girls and women have undergone FGM. They've been cut, silenced, and disfigured, often before they can even speak up for themselves. And yes, it happens here too. In Pakistan, especially among the Dawoodi Bohra community, where this brutal act continues behind closed doors and whispered justifications. And then there is rape. There is no tradition here, no ritual, just power and cruelty. In 2024 alone, Pakistan recorded over 3,200 cases of gender based violence, 5,300 rape cases, and 547 honor killings. And yet, there's a miserable 0.5% conviction rate. This is not just a statistic value, that's a national shame. What happens next is even worse. The victim is doubted, her silence is demanded, her pain is politicized, her voice minimized, and her story forgotten. Because there aren't enough platforms and there aren't enough laws. And more importantly, there aren't enough of us willing to speak when she no longer can. But let me be clear. Let me be clear that every woman has the right over her own body, not her father, not her husband, not her tradition. Her. Her body is not your battleground. Her silence is not your peace. Her pain is not your heritage. So, what should we do? We must criminalize female genital mutilation with no exceptions. Recognize marital rape as rape because marriage isn't a license to violence. We must build safe spaces, not just shelters, but courts, communities, schools, where women are believed, protected, and heard. We must educate our boys about consent before society teaches girls to stay quiet. Raise conviction rates until justice is not just a rarity, but a right. Because every time a girl is cut, humanity bleeds. Every time a woman is raped, society is stained. Every time we stay silent, we are guilty too. So rise, speak, and shatter the silence. Be the voice when hers has been stolen. Thank you.
Well done. I don't have any words to speak. So, any other participant? I'm gonna try now. So, guys, we are having Ariba Suhail. Adil, would you like to volunteer? Yes, sure. Fahad, stage is all yours.
Okay, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, judges, respected opponents, and my dear audience. Today I stand before you to speak on an issue that is not only timely but timeless: consent. What does it mean? Why it matters and why ignoring it is dangerous? Consent is not just a word, it's a clear, voluntary, and a mutual agreement to engage in any activity, whether it's a handshake, sharing a photo, or any physical relation. Consent is the line that separates respect from violation. The fundamental human rights to control our own body and choices. That is consent. No one should be forced, tricked, or pressured into doing anything they don't want to do. Lack of consent is the foundation of many forms of abuse, sexual harassment, assault, coercion. Teaching and respecting consent reduces any harm and creates safer environment in schools, homes, workplaces, and society at large. Consent is not just a barrier; it's a bridge and a barrage that builds trust, communication, and mutual respect. Saying yes when it truly means has far more value than any coerced silence. Consent is not just about sex. It applies to data privacy, medical treatment, personal space, photos, and even jokes. If someone says no to you, filmed by being filmed or teased, then no must be heard and honored. Some argue that asking for consent ruins the moment or it makes interaction awkward. I say it's awkward only if we've never been taught to value someone else's comfort. Consent is empowering, not embarrassing. In conclusion, consent is not optional. It is a very foundation of human dignity. It's about listening, respecting, and understanding that everyone has the right to say no and maybe. So let's not just talk about consent. Let's teach it, practice it, and make it a non-negotiable part of our culture. Thank you.
Well done, Fahad. It is said that no means no, maybe means no. I will think about it means no. Only yes means yes. So that was, I think, conclusion from my side. Any other volunteers? Ariba Sohail. Any other participant? What about Muhammad Rayan?
Guys, come on, you can do this. It's all right if you haven't prepared. You can just unmute your mics and express your stance, or maybe you can even type in the comment section. And we will be wrapping up shortly because I think we have like 10 more minutes to go.
You can use any language you want. English, Urdu, maybe Punjabi. volunteers, guys.
Guys, in the meanwhile, we have a poem here. Would anyone like to recite the poem?
Yes, Amna.
Hello. Okay, I'll say just a few words on consent. Um, con- okay, I'll say consent isn't just important. It's everything. It's how we show respect and build trust and protect each other. It means no one gets to decide what happens to your body, your time, and even your boundaries, except you. And that's not just in romantic situations. It's about asking anyone that if you want to hug someone, you should ask before hugging them, and even tagging them in a photo or borrowing something personal. And just like Fad mentioned before, it consent doesn't make a moment uh, awkward or ruin the vibe. It creates it because when both people are on the same page, or then there would be no confusion, no guilt, and no pressure. It would be totally based on trust. Also, it's not about contracts or being robotic. It's simple. Just ask, listen, and respect the answer. And yes, consent can change. Someone can say yes and later say no. And that's okay. Real maturity is being able to handle that without getting angry or pushing back. We are all just learning how to communicate better. Practicing consent means we're choosing kindness over assumptions, care over control. And if we want a world that's safer, more respectful, and more honest, it starts with consent. And that's a conversation we should be having loud and clear. Thank you.
Well done, Amna. Any other speaker? Any other debater? Ishi, you were saying you have a poem.
Yes,
Can you
I
recite
do.
it for us?
Okay, so I will read it out for you guys. Consent. A yes is a yes, a no is a no. Clear and loud, don't you know? Respect the boundaries, hear them loud. Consent is key, never back down. Give and take, give your consent freely and clear. Take your time to think, don't fear. Listen to others, hear their voice, respect their choices, make some noise. Empowerment, consent is power. It is a right to say yes or no, day or night. It's a choice, a decision, a voice. Empower yourself, make some noise. Respect, respect the no, respect the yes. Communicate clearly, do your best. Consent is crucial, don't forget. A yes is a yes, a no is a no, you bet. Thank you.
Well done, Isha. That was very insightful. Okay, guys. Should we have picture again or just end the session?
आप विनर तो अनाउंस कर दें आई थिंक
A very difficult one. I will announce it in the group. Till line. Okay?
okay, I am loving the suspense here, guys. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for everybody who spoke up and everybody who wrote in the comment section and everybody who stayed till now. You guys are amazing. Thank you for sticking by.
Aisha, Arshad, would you like to say something? Are you here in the meeting? Ariba Sohail. So should we end the meeting now? I'll respond. And thank you again for joining us today. I hope you had a very good and amazing session. Our speakers were very honorable. I am very happy they joined us today. Yeah. Okay. I think Laika Ahmed wants to say something. You can unmute yourself and Laika.
Consent is the foundation. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we
Hello?
can hear you. Yes, yes, go on, please. We can hear you.
Consent is the foundation of healthy relationships, the cornerstone of respect, and the key to unlocking trust. It's the spark that ignites mutual understanding, the flame that fuels empathy, and the fire that burns bright with passion. When we prioritize consent, we create a culture of respect where every individual is valued and every boundary is honored. We build relationships that are strong, resilient, and built to last. Consent is not just about saying yes or no, it's about creating a space where people feel safe to express themselves, where their voices are heard and their choices are respected. It's about being mindful of power dynamics and ensuring that everyone has an equal say. It's about listening actively, communicating openly, and being willing to learn and grow. When we prioritize consent, we create a world where people feel empowered to make choices about their own bodies, lives, and futures. We create a world where respect is the norm and where every individual is treated with dignity and care. Let's make consent a priority in all our interactions. Let's create a culture of mutual respect where every voice is heard and every boundary is respected. Let's build relationships that are strong, healthy, and built on a foundation of trust and respect. Together, we can create a world where consent is the norm and where every individual is valued, respected, and empowered to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laika. You were amazing. Thank you for the amazing insights that you gave us today.
Do we have anyone else? Ariba Suhail. Guys, if we don't have any other participant or volunteer, we can just end the session. Love to hear that. Okay. So guys, this was all from my side. Okay, no issue. Okay. Allah Hafiz from my side. This is Mahnu Khan signing off. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.